The dwarven forges must work overtime.
These wretches would see our world aflame. They would see our glorious history snuffed out. They want to provoke us, to incite us to fury, to burn our oaths to ash. But they know nothing of our resilience. We stand firm. We do not fear battle. We are the steel that girds the mountains. We are the fire that burns in the trenches. Tamaris has sent us her most fearless sons and daughters, that we may dispel the mist and rekindle our oath. Today, the dwarves and the three great factions of Tamaris hereby form the Evergreen Union.
Your Majesty.
Commander.
Darklings have secured the portal,
through which I plan to bring an army. If we do not stop them now, we may never get another opportunity.
Where is he? Where is the protector
of Tamaris?
Floppy-eared fucks.
Aye.
Where is Darth Shigong?
Together, we shall defend the world's tree. From here to the Southlands, our vigilance will not waver. We will drive those vermin back to the depths from whence they came. The Evergreen Union shall not yield.
We shall not yield.
How's it going? It's your boy Darth Shigong here from Gaming on the Dark Side, GOTDS, and you know as always we got this coming at you with another video for Call of Dragons. Now this video is going to be a bit different because it's going to be involving a lot of theory crafting and just some general ideas talking about the future faction to be introduced into the game. I know there's a lot of rumors going around and thoughts on who the new faction will be, what they'll be made of. I've had my own thoughts for quite some time, and this is a video I've been wanting to make for a while. I've just been really busy with work. So, without much ado, let's get the intro out the way so we can start talking about the fourth faction coming to Tamaris.
You don't know the power
of gaming on the
dark side.
Now, there's a lot going on with the game as of late. Obviously, we have Home Kingdom starting, all kinds of brand new seasons. Season 3, the actual map and design of it is on the horizon, right? And they have announced that they will be a brand new faction coming out. Now, like I said, there are rumors on what it could possibly be. Within one of the patch notes, they did mention a new race, a dragon-based race. You can see it right here when they describe it. Hi, I'm Simon from the Call of Dragons art team. We got big plans for the new faction in Call of Dragons, including new races currently in the design stage. Inspiration for this comes from ancient Oriental mythology. We just dedicated ourselves to studying it, selecting some iconic symbols, aiming to recreate marvelous Eastern fantasy. These chosen guardians fulfill long-standing oaths bound with the divine. Whether they go with the flow of nature, or exude unwavering confidence, they embody invisibility, and when we encounter them, we may witness a culmination of their vows, the destiny's conclusion. And so you can see that they do have a new faction they're working on. However, it doesn't necessarily mean that the new faction they're working on is something that'll be playable. Remember when Season 2 first came out in Belleron, we got introduced to the dwarves. And they weren't a playable faction, but they were pretty much a fully fleshed out faction. They have troops, they have history, and as you watch for, through the Season 2 story, be careful if you guys are looking, sorry for any spoilers here, but it does seem like we decided to join up together and form a union, the Evergreen Union, and they have now joined forces with the elves, the orcs, and the humans. Now we have the dwarves. And that's why I feel that even though they are working on this new dragon faction or dragon race that we'll see in Season 3, I really strongly believe that the new playable faction will be the dwarves. And the dwarves will be who you'll be able to select starting in Season 3. Now, does that mean that we'll be able to start with dwarves back in Season 1 for brand new players? Probably. Maybe. That'd be kind of cool if they can for the brand new servers. Or you can switch over to the dwarves and have them. They'll be there. Why not? I do also think that in Season 3, when we go to the new continent through the gates, right, the Gate of Promise, or whatever it's called, we go through those gates, we are going to run into this dragon faction, and they will basically be kind of like how the dwarves were in Season 2. There will be dragon-type troops or things we'll be fighting against. the shrines rather than runic statues. I'm feeling it'll probably be more like shrines, and we might have little mini bosses with the fight, which I think would be pretty cool, right? Like little dragons or something, or a big dragon we kind of have to fight to control. So not only maybe while we're fighting each other, we also have like this dragon running around and fighting. So can you imagine like a behemoth fight? But in order, while you're fighting it, you're also having to fight against another group, right? There's another set of alliances coming through, and you guys are battling, and you have this going on. And you can choose to either focus on the behemoth, or on your enemy, or both, or maybe you guys both have to join forces from time to time. Who knows? It'd be kind of interesting to see what you could really do with that kind of gameplay. But that's my feeling on what's going to happen when Season 3 drops. Now, like I said, this is all, of course, speculation. But it's my choice, and it's my thing, and my strong belief that dwarves will be the new faction that we'll be able to play as. Now, with that being said, let's go ahead and discuss what a dwarven faction would bring to the game. Those little dwarf dudes, small but mighty. Anyways, like I said, the new faction I believe coming out will be the dwarves. They're fully fleshed out, they got a great history, and like I said, they have now joined the Evergreen Union. They are part of the fight against the Darklings and everything else that's going on, so they will be there. So let's go ahead and talk about this faction, the dwarves. Now, the faction bonuses, like I said, I'm making all this stuff up, so guys, don't take this as absolutes. It's just my thoughts and what I would like to see. But if you choose the dwarf faction, you'll get Legion physical defense of an extra 3% and building engineering of 10%. These guys will be much better at building buildings much quicker. Now, we got to talk about the various units. So we start off with infantry, and of course, their version of cavalry, which will be some awesome goat riders, I believe. And as you can see here in the images, that's what it's going to look like. So you've got infantry, your Frostbeard clan warriors, just like every other infantry warriors we got. Then you got your cavalry, which will be the Frostbeard clan ram riders. Well, I'm trying to say that. That's a tongue twister right there, guys. So those are going to be those units. After that, we got to talk about some of our ranged units. So I'm thinking they're going to have kind of a unique mix of things here. I really like this image from that one movie. You can see them playing with an engineering version of what they can do. And they surprise the elves. They're like, oh, what the hell just happened? Right, I got a bunch of those little dwarves coming flying at you. So the mages, right? I just picked this little mage guy from World of Warcraft. That's what the mage looks like. But for their archers, we're going to go a little bit out there and say, why couldn't they be a little more technology based? And these guys actually are armed with guns. So I'm going to say a rifleman, which also fits the lore in the game because there is a clan within the dwarves which is more technology based. So since there's multiple clans that make up the dwarves, it stands to reason if we were making a whole entire dwarf faction that you have to kind of include all of them. So why not include these technology based dwarves? And that's why I'm saying they'd be riflemen. I mean, it's possible that the archers could also be another form of ballista type thing as well. You never know. Now, with those being our basic units here, let's talk about the big thing I think is coming to the game, regardless of whether this is going to be a dragon faction or it's going to be a dwarf faction. We got to talk about the flying version of their troops. So the flying version of the dwarf troops is going to be flying infantry. There's no way around it, guys. The next flying unit is going to be definitely flying infantry, and I'm going with Griffin Riders. Once again, I pulled this from World of Warcraft, kind of sort of their lore. I really like the way it looks, and I really can't see what else they'd be riding, right? Unless, like I said, we go technology-based. Maybe they're flying around little contraptions. But I'm going to say Griffin Riders because I think it looks cool. Now, I did make up in my mind some abilities for these flying infantry units, since I personally am all in on flying units. So I really would, these are some of the skill sets I would like to see in a flying infantry unit to really round out what could be happening while you guys are out fighting with nothing but a pure air force. So let's go over their special abilities. The first special skill is going to be called Skywall. They can obstruct flying legions, right? So they can basically intercept flying legions. See, currently right now, you can't really intercept per se flying legions. Now, you could use something like the Spirit-Born Torque that can keep your flying legions stuck where they are. I mean, when they get hit by an infantry unit, it does kind of affect them, but for the most part, though, intercepting a flying legion is very difficult. So these guys, they would be able to do that. Now, they wouldn't be able to necessarily intercept ground units because they're still a flying unit, but they could intercept other flying units. So that's why I said I'm looking at a pure air battle, a big dogfight of flying units. You need infantry to kind of round that out. We have the cavalry, we have the mages, and we have marksmen. Infantry will do it. Now, the next thing is going to be Iron Skin. This is a classic version of an infantry skill that already exists. It's just named more for the dwarves. Basically, for every 3% of their troops that they lose, they're going to gain 1.5% physical defense up to 50%. So it matches the other infantry units. Next, they have evasive maneuvers. Now, this is their version of how they're going to be evading and their counterattack, right? So they still only get 50% ranged counterattack damage back. However, they have a 50% chance to gain a stack of dodge, which gives them a 1% chance to dodge range attacks for 3 seconds, up to a maximum of 10 stacks. So they can get up to a 10% chance to completely dodge any range attacks coming at them. And this is a special skill because, like I said, they're a flying unit. So they can kind of, duck, dip, dive, dodge, and do what they need to do to get out of the range. Units line of fire as they're fighting, giving them a little more survivability as they're moving around. Because once you're flying in there, since these guys are melee based like my cavalry guys, they're going to get aimed at. They're going to get focus fired down. That's my bane of my existence with all flying cavalry. I get aimed at quickly, and cavalry's not exactly tanky. So these guys being tanky, they can take a little more damage, hopefully get everyone focusing on them, so my cavalry can do their job, and the ranged flyers can do theirs. Basically, guys, we have a total air battle going on. It will make air combat way more dynamic, much more useful, and you'll see it happening a lot more in the game, which I'm hoping for. That's what I'm betting everything in my account for. As you guys see my future videos talking about my air raids and how I do my air superiority and all that, you guys can see how it's kind of forming up, and I'm preparing myself for it. Now we gotta talk about the new heroes. There's going to be a new epic hero starter, obviously, so I've created my own here. His name is Braun. He's a sniper from the Iron Eyes clan in Belleron. He uses his trusty sidearm to attack targets from the range. Basically, he's our archer class hero. He'll be marksman, engineering, and PvP. His awakened skill, I call it one shot. If an enemy legion is at 10% or less health, Braun will have a 25% chance to instantly kill whenever his rage skill is activated. So, like I said, he's a sniper, taking you out. You do not want this guy aiming at you if you are low on health. So this guy would be perfect for a back of the line, sneaking around, taking out legions that are trying to retreat back to their castles to refresh themselves. This guy will be a beast because he'll just be dropping people if this awakened skill happens. It'll be nasty. It's a lot like how I want to say the Kingslayer is, in a sense, right? That artifact where if it hits a unit at a certain level, it just instantly kills them. Same thing here with Braun. Next up is the new legendary hero. I'm calling him Thorum Stormhammer. Right? He's a flying infantry hero. He's going to have a unique mixture here. He's going to be the tank, infantry, and gathering hero. We don't have enough gathering heroes. This guy will round that out. He's a dwarf. I know it's kind of weird, but hey, you have a flyer that can run someplace and gather. It is what it is. They did say that they are trying to create new gathering heroes, especially they did it in this last dev update when they were talking about war pets, and they were asking about, hey, can we get a war pet that helps to, boost gathering? They said we're not having any plans for that yet, but they did have plans for new gathering heroes. So I included gathering on him just to kind of, so he's not so OP, right? I didn't want to give him another crazy OP skill set. Had to throw something in there that's kind of funky, so I put it in gathering. So he'll be tank, infantry, gathering. His awakened skill is called Oath of Belleron. When his rage skill is cast, it increases his legion and 2 surrounding allied legions speed and damage by 25% for 10 seconds. So basically, he'll make you guys a little bit faster, and you hit a little bit harder for himself and 2 surrounding allied legions. So that could be, 2 of your legions if you're flying, multiple flying units, or if you've got ground units. Either way, though, he will be very, very great, a very good utility type hero, and he'll be able to be in the front lines, taking that damage for you while your other flyers are doing what they need to do. It's very important. If we're going to have true air combat, we need a way to basically mirror what we're doing on the floor. And that's going to give a lot more variety in this game to where we don't have to worry about the obstacles the way they are now, right? We can fly over rivers, fly over mountain ranges. Got to watch out for those damn spires, though, right? Those things hurt. But either way, we can move around, and it will redefine the way combat is done. When all of a sudden people are having to worry about real air superiority coming in and doing actual damage and being able to control the field, you're going to have to be a lot more on your toes, right? It's not just about the ground stuff anymore, not just about archers and mages doing their thing. You also are looking all over the place, and it gives much more variety in game style, and that's what I'm all about. So those are my thoughts, guys. That's what I'm thinking is going to happen. We got a brand new faction. It's going to be the dwarves. That's my prediction. The new flying unit is going to be infantry. That's my prediction. Obviously, the new heroes and all these things, I just kind of storm. I'm brainstorming, playing the game, thinking about how you can have it and play with them and how they would go up in there. I can already picture using them. It'll be awesome. So I hope you guys like this. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts. Do you think the new faction will be a dragon faction? Do you think they'll be dwarves? If it's dwarves, what do you guys think they'll be good for? Do you think they'll have flying infantry? And if we do have flying infantry, is that something that you would be interested in playing with and seeing? Either way, I'm looking forward to a lot more flying heroes. I'm looking forward to being able to field even more flying legions. I do have my video coming out showing you guys how I rock it with my triple flying legion right now. And I also have some tips and tricks on how you guys, no matter what faction you are, to be able to follow my lead and triple fly and take out people from the sky. But so if you guys want to see those videos and you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button so you guys do not miss it when they come out. If you are subscribed, well, hey, you're gonna get, make sure that bell notification's hitting so you guys get those notifications when I come at you, and you guys can watch the videos. So I gotta get back to the game. I gotta keep on getting some more stuff going. I'll have those new videos coming out soon. So thanks, guys, for sticking around this long. I really hope that you guys enjoy it. And yeah, that's it. So I'm your boy Darth Shigong. And until I see you guys again, I hope to catch all of you gaming on the dark side.
I have a dream, that's all I need. I'll make it happen with some work and belief. Know what I want, so I'll take it on. I've made mistakes, but mistakes make you strong. Let's break it down for a minute. I want the crown, I'm gon' get it. You hear me loud, man, I'm winning. Yeah, Charlie Sheen will be grinning. These ladies know that I'm sinning, and this is just the beginning. I'm closing in the night inning. There ain't no point in resisting. Living life like a dream, live it right, that's the thing. Every night got a team, I've been tied to the scene. Out on stage, here on screen. Okay, it's a dream.